Okay, this is lesson 11, and it starts from Ela Amar Abaya. Rather, Abaya says. I just want to point out what we learned in Rabba's interpretation. We'll bring up this chart and we'll be able to contrast. So this is Rabba here. Let's see if I can write on this. Yeah, I can. So Rabba said that we're discussing a machlekes between, let's put it in up here, get a good color. Let's pick something nice. There's Rabbi Meir, and there's Rabbi Yehuda. Now Rabbi Meir holds Chayev. Question is what we're talking about. And Rabbi Yehuda holds Pater. Okay, now based on that, let's make another, just to separate this. Okay, based on that, Rambam said that the machlekes between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda was concerning Einus. Rabbi Meir said that you're chayev and an Einus, and Rabbi Yehuda said you're pater. We went through the whole Gemara. How could Rabbi Meir say you're chayev? That was the big deal. But the main point is that Rabbi Yehuda held that you're chayev by niskal, and just explain the chart. Anything that has the diagonal lines in red, that means chayev. The straight green lines is a machlekes. So I put there's Oines, Niskal, and Pshia. And I made the arrow to show that you're moving up more and more Chayev. So Oines is, you would think you would be Pater, well, actually, Reb Meir holds, nevertheless, you're Chayev. And Niskal, which usually is a machlekes here, everyone agrees is Pesheya, is considered Chayev, and Pshia, obviously, is Pshia. So I wrote in that Niskaven Lishbar, that means that you had intention to break it. That's the Pshia, that's you're totally negligent. And Neskaven Lairida, you had intention to take it off your shoulder and you tripped and it slipped and it broke. That was like a mistake. It's not considered an accident. It's considered that you were still considered negligent. Rabbi Yehuda said that you're chayav in that case. So where was Rabbi Yehuda talking about? All in that case. So it's nice I did it in green because that would be the case of the machlekes. So just to clarify this, I'll make green lines through it to show you that when you look down, that's exactly the case that we're talking about according to Abaya. That's the case according to Rabbah. We didn't learn yet Abaya, so let's first learn the Gemara inside, then I'll go back to it. Okay, so the Gemara says like this. Ela Amar Abaya, rather Abaya says, when it says Ela, it means it's retracting from something. Yeah, it's not like Rabbah learned, rather Abaya is learning different. And he says Betarti Pligi, that they're arguing about two things. I wrote in there in two things. They're arguing in two things. Pligi b'shas nefila. They're arguing while it's falling. Pligi means to argue. B'shas is at the time of nefila falling. And we spoke out what Tosfos says that it doesn't mean that while it's actually in transition, while it's falling. It means obviously while it's falling, but it also means when it falls on the floor, even after it's landed, but before you had a chance to pick it up. So all of that time it's considered b'shas nefila. Upligi lacher nefila, and they're also arguing after nefila. So I want to explain the color coding here. The red. Let's first start with this dark, like blackish purple, is the Gemara talking. The red and green are the two machlekes that we're speaking about. The red is b'shas nefila and the green is lacher nefila. So let's go now to pligi b'shas nefila. Sorry, it's a little orangey here. Pligi b'shas nefila. They argue at the time of falling. What is the argument over there? Beniskal pisheya. They're arguing about if tripping is considered a pshia. If you slip, like we said, if you had intention to take it off your shoulder and you slipped, so that's what they're arguing about. Would that be a case of pshia, of negligence? Mar savar. I described mar as mr, which is the master said, so like in English, Mister. So mar savar, this one holds, which we said is Reb Meir. I wrote over there Reb Meir. Let's underline that so it's clear. Make a circle of it. Reb Meir holds niskal pisheya, that niskal, stumbling or tripping, is considered negligent, and I put over there that you're chayiv. Let's underline that. Umar savar, and this one holds, Rabbi Yehuda, that is, circle that. Rabbi Yehuda holds niskalav pisheya. Who? You have to read the who. Upater, and then you're going to be pater. Okay. Let's go down to that little chart, and I think we can explain this pretty clearly. So again, there's Machlekes Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda. What is the Machlekes about? According to Abai, everyone holds, obviously, if you had intention to break it, you're chayav. That no one is going to discuss. The question is, and let's go to on the bottom, that oinus is definitely pater. Abai has resolved that issue. How could oinus be chayav that Rabbi had? Oinus is definitely pater. The question is niskal. If you stumble, is it considered a pshia, which would be chayev? That's Reb Meir's opinion. Or is it considered an oinus and your pater? That's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. So that those two opinions are applicable right in this box, right? We'll make the whole box like that, so you have to follow what we're discussing. It's concerning niskal, and then we'll do that over here, so this will be clear. Okay. Now there's another machlekes here which I didn't make a chart for, and the Mitzvah Hashem will do that in another video, but I just to make this complete. So the second machlekes is pligi la'achar nefila. They're arguing after it falls. In other words, it's on the ground already, and it's the machlekes is about b'mafker nezakov. If you make onalis, the debris, the broken pieces, mar savar. This one holds, which is Reb Meir. Mafker nezakov. When you make it onalis, you're still chayiv, and the reason is that the Torah makes you chayiv even for a bar that you don't own. Umar Savar, and this one holds, which is Rabbi Yehuda. I wrote over there Rabbi Yehuda. Let's circle it. Where was Reb Meir? Put him in there. Reish Mem or Reish Yud. Mar Savar, it's Pater. Okay. Rabbi Yehuda holds that you have to actually own the bar. Rabbi Yehuda's opinion that you have to actually own it is an interesting opinion. We spoke about a bar before, and we never really learned this, that anyone should hold that you have to actually own it. We had one opinion of Rav who holds that if you own it, it's considered a shur, not a bar. So this is a unique opinion. But nevertheless, that's what he holds, that if you don't own it, you're going to be pater. And so what's the Torah talking about when it says you're chayav on a bar? So there's an example. Either it's in your property, but it's so close to the public property that people had the right to walk in the public property, and they could still slip into your bar and you would be chayiv. Or the other option is that you actually own a property, you dug a pit in it, and then you made everything but the pit ownerless, so people have the right to walk on it, but they fell into your pit. So either way, that would be the only case of chayiv according to Rabbi Yehuda. A chart for this would be great, and I'll try to do that in another video. So again, the machlekes is la'achar nefila, after it fell down, and the question is, the machlekes is concerning mafker nezakav. If you made it ownerless, are you chayev or pater? And we're talking about that there were broken pieces of a pitcher which you decided not to keep, and that's what the machlekes is about between Reb Meir and Rabbi Yehuda. I realized that I didn't explain something. Let me go back over here. When Rabbi Yehuda says niskavin, let's see if I can put this in red so you'll see. When it says niskavin chayev, we'll put him over here. He's referring to niskavin chayev. That's what Rabbi Yehuda means. Rabbi Yehuda, when he says niskavin chayev, is referring to you had intention to break it. That's niskavin chayev. And this would be, actually, let's do that in green. We'll change the color. We'll do that as Einai Miska. That should be a mem. Miskaven is pater. That's referring to when you tripped. And niskaven lairida is not considered an intention. So you had if you had intention to break it. Rabbi Yehuda in the Mishnah says if you had intention, you're chayav. That's referring to when you had intention to break it. But eina miskaven, if you didn't have intention to actually break it, then you're going to be pater because you just tripped. That's how Abai is explaining the Mishnah. Okay. Now, the Gemara is going to ask what Rabbi Yehuda means, niskaven chayav. What type of kavana do you have after it's after you dropped it and now there's broken pieces and you made it ownerless. So Rabbi Yehuda would say that you're potter if you're not miskaven, but you're chayev if you are miskaven. And the Gemara is going to say that it's talking about if you wanted to keep the pieces or not. So eina miskaven means that you are mafke the pieces. Okay, now the Gemara questions, who says that there's actually two cases here? Abaye is making this up. The Gemara says no. 1 second, I wasn't sure if that's in the box. 1 second, can you see this one? Okay, so umimai, mimai means from what, or what's the proof? How do you know this? Literally, it's from what? From where is this from? That you get this, that there's two cases. So it says midiktani tarti, because it says two cases, which is number one. You slipped in the water. This is back in the Mishnah. Or you got hurt by the broken pieces. Hainu hach, that's the same thing. Or this is this. Elalav, but is it not? Hachikamar, it's saying this. This is what it means to say. If someone slipped in the water, b'shas nefila, that's while the water was falling, which means before you had a chance to pick it up, like we explained from Tosfos. Or he got hurt from the broken pieces, that's la'achar nefila, that's after it fell. So from the fact that it says these two cases, so we know that there's actually two machlokes in. Why did it choose to say two cases? Because it wants to tell me that the machlokes is two things. So if you just want to color code it, Oishalaka B'charsis would go with La'achar Nefila. I made it in green. And the red over here would go with the red, which is Shas Nefila. That's Hochlak Echad B'mayim. Okay.